This is your WCIA 3 forecast first, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical.
Well, a little bit of rain falling out there tonight. We've seen these showers, a lot of them mainly north of I-72 and I-74 into portions of Ford County. Iroquois County, you can see the rain here. Rantoul to Loda there along I-57. Some showers up near Piper City, Watsika. A little bit near Champaign and Farmer City, and all these showers will continue to move south and east across the area. These showers will be gone by tomorrow. We are forecasting a nice day of sunshine for your Tuesday, but it's going to start out a little cool. It's already down to 50 right now. We think those low 40s again to begin the day, but some improving weather conditions for the rest of the week. We'll talk about which night, though, we could see some frost when we come back. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
A veteran is home after having been missing for 70 years. How a community honored his return.
Plus, new details on a high-speed chase that ended with this crash. Why the suspect is facing charges in 2 states.
And higher electric bills across Illinois, what that extra money could be used to pay for.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
He was missing for decades, but tonight the remains of a Korean War soldier are home. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jessica Coons. It was a special moment as people gathered in Decatur to honor that soldier who was reported missing more than 70 years ago. WCIA 3's Bryce Beament joins us. Bryce, this procession came from St. Louis.
Asa Vance's remains were flown into a St. Louis airport, and a procession then brought him back to his hometown.
To honor these people after they're identified, it's the very least we can do.
The remains of a former Korean War soldier have finally been brought home after around 70 years. Veterans, family, and members of the community lined the streets of Decatur to welcome home Asa Vance.
They've earned it, they're entitled to it, and we do everything we can to honor those people when those remains are identified.
Vance went missing in action in December 1950 in North Korea after his unit was attacked by enemy forces. The Army listed him as presumed dead in 1954. But it wasn't until 2018 that the North Korean government turned over 55 boxes of war dead remains to the United States. An analyst identified Vance among them.
It's pretty amazing. When we got that message that they had found his remains, we were all in shock. We just couldn't believe it after all these years.
Pam Logan-Lark is Vance's niece. She says, unfortunately, her family that knew her uncle has passed, but she wanted to make sure he got a proper welcome home.
We didn't honestly think this would ever happen. You know, after all this time, you just don't think it's possible. But it means a lot. It means a whole lot to all of us.
She said they were going to bury him last year, but the COVID-19 pandemic put a delay to bringing Vance home.
We're doing it, you know, and it's important, you know. He's going to get laid to rest, and we'll have as many family members here as we possibly can.
But now Vance is finally home, giving family closure and also celebrating his return.
It's going to be memorable, and it's going to be happy, but it's going to be sad, too. So, you know, it's part of it.
Veterans came from all over central Illinois to honor Vance. They were at the funeral home hours before, helping put up flags. The funeral and burial will happen Friday in Springfield. Back to you.
It's incredible to see all the support they had from people there today. Bryce, thank you. At military funerals, honor guards often pay tribute to those who are being laid to rest. This Thursday is Operation Honor Guard. We're raising money to help outfit those honor guard members. We'll be in our back parking lot in Champaign from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m., but that's not the only place we'll be. To find the location closest to you, you can head to WCIA.com.
The driver accused of leading police on a chase across state lines Friday faces several charges in both Illinois and Indiana. Authorities say they were searching for 34-year-old Michael Scuteri in connection to an arson in Indiana. They say he crashed near a church in Danville. His vehicle caught fire. He was taken to the hospital. Danville police say because of the nature of the fire and the arson charges he faces in Indiana, they brought in the U of I police bomb squad and State Fire Marshal's office. On Friday night, a Danville officer on scene told WCIA there was a bomb. Today, Commander Josh Webb says they found a briefcase with electronics in the vehicle, but nothing explosive. Scuteri is facing charges including arson and resisting law enforcement.
An Indiana man was sentenced to 15 years in prison for trying to entice a Champaign teenager. 46-year-old Caleb Hickman pleaded guilty in January to attempted enticement of a minor, attempted sexual exploitation of children, and attempted receipt of child porn. Hickman tried to use social media to speak with who he believed was a 14-year-old and made arrangements to bring them to Indiana. And a Champaign man was sentenced to nearly 11 years in prison for having child porn. 37-year-old Matthew McDuffie will also have to serve 15 years on federal supervised release. He will have to register as a sex offender. No one was hurt tonight when shots were fired in Champaign. Police say witnesses saw two vehicles chasing after one another. They heard several rounds of gunfire, and that led to police being called to Market Street near Marketplace Mall around 6 o'clock tonight. They blocked off the street for about 2 hours while investigating. Police say they arrested two people, 19-year-old Jeremiah Moore of Champaign and 19-year-old Patrick Cross of Urbana. Police say both had guns on them when they were arrested. That second vehicle believed to have been involved in this is a white car that was last seen driving northbound on Market Street.
U of I police are warning students to be careful after two reports of a man stalking female students. They say this man, who's going to appear on your screen, drove up to 6 times around the Alpha Phi sorority house while sisters were outside sunbathing on their front lawn. Moments later, they saw him hiding behind their house taking pictures. University police have since been monitoring the house. Another incident involved a similar suspect following a girl to her apartment near 3rd and Springfield. And here's an update. Deputies in Vigo County, Indiana say a missing woman is dead. Police say Jessica Nashimbaini's car with her inside crashed along a steep ravine and was found underwater. Investigators believe her car veered off the road. This happened in Clay County, west of Terre Haute. They described it as an apparent accident.
Investigators are still trying to figure out what started an apartment building fire in Pana. Crews were called out here to 2nd and Locust Streets yesterday afternoon. The chief says the state fire marshal's office is helping with this investigation, and they're still interviewing witnesses. He says the fire apparently started in the front, and the damage to the building is beyond repair. We have a follow-up to a story out of Fisher. A problem with the village's property tax bills has been fixed. We told you last month, unfiled paperwork meant that people there saw a steep increase in their bills when they were mailed out. The mayor says the county treasurer told the village the corrected rate would be going to the software company today, and then those tax bills would be rerun with the new rate. So those modified bills should go out either Friday or next Monday.
Casey's in Warrensburg was out of regular gas today. Former Mayor Corey Maloney says staff told him there was a shortage of truck drivers. It's an issue across the U.S. The closest gas station is a few miles away. It's causing problems for people who live nearby.
And it is kind of inconvenient for our residents of Warrensburg. We have to drive a little over 5 miles to get to Love's or to Forsyth.
We reached out to Casey's corporate, didn't hear back. Casey's in Decatur was also out of gas. State lawmakers could soon let power companies raise rates on your electric bill, but new research shows there are other costs that come with pollution from coal and natural gas. It's part of the debate happening in Springfield as the Pritzker administration pushes for a new energy policy. Capitol Bureau Chief Mark Maxwell reports from the Capitol.
The earth is literally in the balance.
House Assistant Majority Leader Jay Hoffman thinks most voters would pay a bit more on their electric bill for a cleaner environment.
At the end of the day, that does cost money, and it's our goal to make sure that we have a very limited impact on the monthly bill of customers, because someone has to pay and the ratepayers would have to pay.
Just how much more remains unclear. As the wind, solar, and nuclear industries make their case for taxpayer funding.
There's no question that there's a huge cost of energy providers that emit pollution, that there is a health risk.
Democrats and Republicans are making the case that pollution from coal and natural gas carries a significant cost of a different kind.
They have a higher rate of asthma. They have a higher rate of other diseases that maybe other communities wouldn't have.
A recent Harvard study counted the health costs of pollution in Illinois.
If air pollution were to be reduced in Illinois or anywhere in the United States, the health benefits are usually fairly local to where the emissions reductions happens.
Researchers found microscopic particles from burning coal and natural gas caused more than 1,100 early deaths in 2017 and cost the state's healthcare system more than $12.5 billion, roughly a quarter of the state's budget.
I think everyone agrees that there's a real urgency here. The reports that just came out about the increased risk to human health that are increasing because of natural gas, those are the types of things that remind us this is not a 5-year or 10-year plan. This has to be right now. This impacts people immediately. This should have been done years ago, and we don't have any more time to wait. It has to happen.
Even though we're going to pay a little bit more in price for carbon-free energy, on the back end, the socioeconomic costs should be less. So less people going to the doctor for asthma, less diseases caused by the pollution that we may see from some of the old energy sources that we've been relying on.
Reporting in Springfield, Mark Maxwell.
The Pritzker administration proposed giving ComEd and Exelon up to $70 million a year to help keep their nuclear plants open, but also recommended launching a new state investigation after the power company paid a $200 million fine to avoid prosecution in a federal corruption case.
Also from the state, more than 1,400 new COVID cases were announced today. Another 12 people have died. Positivity rate has dipped to 3.4%. More than 70,000 people were vaccinated yesterday. The 7-day average for those is more than 81,000. 35% of Illinois is fully vaccinated. And more people can get vaccinated after the FDA said Pfizer's COVID vaccine has been authorized for emergency use in kids 12 to 15 years old. Until now, only people 16 and older were eligible. Studies from Pfizer showed the vaccine was not only safe for teenagers, but also nearly eliminated all risk of catching COVID. Researchers are now testing the vaccine in kids as young as 6 months old.
It's something the Parkland Cobras have been waiting for, what they have a shot at.
Plus, a humane society that can't take in animals, why they're being forced to turn some away.
Kevin, a little bit cooler tonight, but it's not bad.
Yeah, a little bit of rain out there, very light rain showers. It's actually not going to be as cool as what we had this morning. We started out at 34 degrees. That's your Flooring America Bratcher weather camera tonight. Here's your highs and lows, 64, and there's that 34 degrees. Both of those running well below average. 50 should be our normal low, and we're not even close to that. So we'll track the rain tonight. We'll show you the potential for frost later this week, and also when things warm back up is coming up.